Hey guys, today I'm doing my out-of-box review for the Kotobukiya Super Robot Wars Valsione. So once again, thank you to my friend in the US, Alex, for sending me this kit to check out. It's a really cool kit, and actually I'm really quite happy with how this came out. It's a great looking kit just out of box, as you can see here. If you saw the unboxing, there's quite a few parts that are pre-painted, and for the most part they look great once the kit is actually all snapped up and put together. There are a couple areas though where the pre-painted parts do have nub connections or gate connections on the painted parts. That's kind of seems a little bit poor planning on Kotobukiya's part, but it's kind of like, what's the point of pre-painting that? There's going to be a nub mark, might as well plan the gates where there's not going to be painting, but I don't know, I mean, you know, who knows. Obviously, of course, the best action is going to be just taking off that paint and just repainting everything yourself. But if you did just want to go just out of box here and not actually do anything to it, you are going to have a pretty nice product. As you saw in the unboxing as well, there are two different options that you have for the face. The face is all a nice pre-painted PVC part, as well as the neck and the top parts of the hair are also going to be PVC plastic there. The back part of the hair that you're seeing there coming down the back, that is two pieces that fit together. Kind of difficult to fit those together actually. I had to like cut the part a little bit there at the bottom. It's basically just two parts that sandwich together, and like the way they fit together at the bottom of the hair is kind of weird, and I couldn't really get it to fit right, so I just had to kind of cut away the plastic a little bit to get it to fit nice and firmly in there together. Otherwise, everything else, there are a couple other small fitting issues that I had with the upper arms. You can see there's just a very thin area of the upper arm there in white and yellow. And the way that those parts come together as well, it just is going to make kind of a little bit very tight fit. So when like you're putting the arm together, especially the upper arm and elbow section, the parts, when you're squeezing them together, like you squeeze one part together tightly and another part kind of like pops open because of the stress. Squeeze that back tightly and then the other part pops open because of the stress. So like this is definitely more of a, like Kotobukiya kits in general are just kind of meant for a more experienced modeler. So they're not going to be as perfect, as easy and all of that as a normal like Bandai Gunpla kit. So just keep that in mind. They are going to require a little bit more work if you want to do that. But again, as I said, it looks really great out of the box, so you maybe don't have to. Of course, it's totally up to you. So a lot of really great color separation. That's one thing that Kotobukiya does really well, is their color separation. So we have like everything you see here. So for example, like in these green parts, those small little green circles there on the shoulder armor, those are actual parts. The small little green piece under the neck, the small little yellow parts is the parts there under the neck. Those are all actual pieces. The dark green part on the front of the head, all pieces. Here, the articulation is going to be pretty good, but again, not going to be like what you would expect from a normal like Bandai HG kit or something like that. So again, just keep that in mind, that this is not meant to be like the super most articulated. It's not like an HG Revive kit. And this kit is pretty old too, if you'll remember. So speaking of the articulation, why don't we just go ahead and take a look at that now while we're on the subject. The head is going to be able to go up a little bit. You can see I'm trying to do this without just like moving the hair part. So you're able to get that head up a little bit. The hair on the back is also able to move a little bit, but again, you have to kind of be careful not to just move that whole thing there. And of course, you can turn that side to side just a little bit there as well. The shoulder armor, this part here is going to move a little bit by itself as well. The part here on the side of the shoulder armor, this part here, pre-painted part here, so that green is painted onto that white part. And the shoulder armor will, this whole part there will all move. The arm will rotate at the top, get a bend here at the elbow, nice, more than 90 degrees, but again, not a whole lot more. The hands are really quite complicated. Aside from being pretty large, the hands are like 4 or 5, 6 parts each for the hands, so it's kind of a lot of parts there. And I think these closed fists that I have on here now, it's not the case for them, but other hands, like holding hands, the thumb is 2 parts that sandwich together, so like you'll have a seam line on just the thumb, which is kind of strange and disappointing. But here you can see some of the parts that are like coming apart there in the forearm, or upper arm there I should say. So you have to kind of like press those back together, and they don't really want to hold there too well. If I move that part again, they'll come apart again as well. So just the seam line removal overall with this kit is going to be a little bit more tricky, but again, just have to keep that in mind. The stomach section will bend a little bit forward and back, side to side, just a little bit there. Then of course rotating, very small stomach section. These side skirts, as you're noticing, come off kind of easily. They just plug into a peg onto here. They're very kind of like Gundam style. These side and front skirts, they're kind of reminiscent of the Unicorn Gundam. Front skirts will move on their own. They're attached to the side skirts, so just going to plug onto this side, and the front skirts attach onto there. Nothing on the back except just a robot butt there. The legs are going to rotate at the top. Let me just take these off for now because I think they're going to be falling off. They're going to rotate a little bit there at the top. We're going to be able to come up and get a nice bend there at the knee. The ankles are going to be able to rotate side to side a little bit. We can point the toe down to about there. So nice bend there in the toes. We can move the toe forward, up and down a little bit, just that toe section by itself. Again, these parts here are pre-painted. That green is painted on yellow. So you can see, I'm not sure how well you can see that, but there was a little nub there on the pre-painted green part. The legs are going to be able to go out to the side very far here, so no problem with that. So that is pretty much it for the articulation. You can see just other parts coming apart. It is going to be a bit more fragile than a Bandai kit, so just messing around with it here on camera, it's not going to work too well. But these wings here on the back are also articulated. They can move up and down and out, and they're just on ball joints. They're plugged into the back of the Valsione here. So let's talk about the other accessories and stuff that we have with this kit. For other hand options, we do also have these open hands, and one point of color separation that we don't have is that the fingernails are supposed to be, I think, green or something. But again, so this would be like one white part there, one yellow part around there, and then like the main hand, I think, is like one part, and the thumb will be two parts sandwiched together here. Then we have a few different holding hands which are meant for like the specific things that they're holding. So like this is a holding hand here meant for this big cannon rifle thing that we have. Really like the look of this. This is really cool. I'm almost tempted to just steal this from this kit and use it for some Gundam kit. But again, so there's that. No sticker for the camera lens, kind of surprisingly. No stickers with this kit at all, so I don't know. Anyway, but really nicely detailed rifle cannon here, and then that hand will just plug in like normal. Then we have a hand here for the sword, and this is just going to hold the sword there at the base, as you'd expect. Then we do also have an option of the sword in the sheath. Now this doesn't like come out, but this is supposed to be just the sword inside the sheath here. But then we have this option of an open sheath, so with a hand that's specifically meant for this. So like it's meant to like be holding the sword and the sheath like at the same time, so like it had just taken it out of there. So you can see what this is just like an opened up version of this. So like the sheath is just meant to open up and you can pull the sword out of there. So really cool kind of thing here. This, it doesn't actually serve any other function. It's just supposed to be an open version of that. So that's a pretty cool choice that you have. And then just also to remind you, we do have a different option for the face there. We also have this angry face that you can use if you want. I'm just using just this regular standard face in this case, but you can use this one, of course. And it only seems fit that I should compare this to the HG Super Fumina Bandai's attempt at a girl character mobile suit, or kind of girl figure. Kotobukiya is doing a lot more of it now with their Frame Arms Girls kits, but Bandai is still kind of trying to figure out what they're doing, as you can see here. So two things about this kit that I'm already noticing that are very discouraging is, number one, the biggest problem is that there's nowhere to put an action base, or with nowhere to connect an action base onto this kit, like really at all. No peg anywhere. You'd think that there would be a peg like on the back. I understand why they don't want to put a peg hole up in the crotch of this kit just for the design purposes, but just like put it like on the back, just like underneath where the wings attach or something like that. Just put the peg hole there would be fine. And I've looked at the manual as well. I can't find any information about how you're supposed to actually put this on any sort of action base. Even on like this style where it's not like a peg, it's just like this one here, which is like another one that comes with this action base that I normally use. Doesn't really fit on there anywhere, so yeah, you're just kind of out of luck, it seems like, if you want to use this on an action base, which is very hindering. The other thing is that the side skirts, the way the side skirts attach onto like the sides of the hips, when you want to separate the legs out, when you want to move the legs out away from each other, the side skirts cannot stay on in that case. The side skirts are just fixed in this down position. They don't move up at all. So if you move the legs up, it's just going to pop off the side skirts. So that is going to be also very limiting in terms of the poses that you can do with this kit. Now, despite those issues of the articulation of this kit, I just have to come back to the point that it just looks really good. I mean, even in the fact that you're going to be pretty limited in what you can actually do with the articulation, I think you can maximize that by just using what you have with this kit, the articulation that you have and the accessories and different hand options and stuff that you have with this kit. You can make the most out of a bad situation, kind of what it is with that. And another thing, just going back to what I said about know where to plug an action base onto this kit, you can always, of course, just drill a hole in the back, and I think that would be the easiest thing if you wanted to add somewhere to attach this onto an action base. Just drilling a hole in the back of the Valsione, I think, would probably be the best thing that you could do, the easiest thing to do for mounting this up onto a base. So to wrap up this review, I did decide to switch out to the angry face just to give you guys a look at that as well. Overall, would I recommend this kit to you guys? If you like the way it looks, then yeah, sure. If you're planning on, if you don't like the look of the seam lines and stuff on there and you do want to go ahead and paint this, just keep in mind you are going to be in for a little bit of work because some of the just way the parts connect, especially like the joints and the seams, especially on the upper legs and the upper arms, are going to be quite difficult to work with, I think. But, just takes a little bit more patience and a little bit more skill. One thing that I thought was also very coincidental is that I know that Hobby Link Japan has more of this kit coming into stock. I believe this kit hasn't been printed for a while, so it's been a little bit rare lately. But if you did want to pick this kit up, if you have liked what you've seen here in this review, I know that Hobby Link Japan is going to be getting some, I think, very soon. I saw an ad, something on Facebook related to this, and I thought, wow, that's very coincidental that I happened to be working on snapping up that kit at the time and then planning to do this review here for you guys. So yeah, if you like what you see, I know you can get this kit very soon from Hobby Link Japan. Otherwise, you can search probably Amazon or AmiAmi or Mandarake in Japan if you're able to get stuff through those sites as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other questions or comments, leave those down below. Any questions about this, I probably won't be a whole lot of help for you guys because I'm very unfamiliar with the Super Robot Wars just game and the lore and all of that just in general, and especially this character as well. I pretty much know nothing about her except what I know a couple of people have mentioned to me a few things in passing, but that's pretty much it. So if you want to go ahead and inform me any more about this character, go ahead and let me know down below. I'm not really too much into video games, so I'm not going to go out and play the game just to check out this character, but it would be just kind of cool to know a little bit more about what she's capable of and all of that. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.